your story empower your life. Join me as I speak to many people around the globe and understand how the empowerment of their story led to the transformation of their life. My name is Rochelle Harlington, and this is the Transformational Soul Talks. This podcast is sponsored by Campground TBD.
Hi, I'm Misty Lee at Campground TBD and my favorite nonprofit, Hayden's Ray. Sometimes we need to fast from society, fast from our relationships, fast from our distractions, fast from the things that are clouding our mind from clarity that may be causing frustration or doubt. Fasting is a beautiful way to do that, and you don't have to give up food unless you want to. At Campground TBD, we offer a safe space in nature for you to come and fast from what you want to, be filled with organic nourishment, body, mind, and soul. Can't wait to see you here at campgroundtbd.com.
Hi, I am Rochelle, and welcome to the Transformational Soul Talks. So I have a question for you. Emotional healing is something that many of us struggle with, right? And sometimes we cannot move past certain things, and many of us struggle, but then we learn to let go. We learn what does not serve us, which leads us towards a healing in ourselves. And then we step into understanding our spiritual wellness. My guest today is all the way from Sweden, a trailblazer in the field of personal growth and relationship development, with a unique focus on the mindfulness and self-compassion. She began her journey earning a bachelor's degree in social work, which laid the groundwork for her future in social development and cross-culture understanding. Her move to Norway signaled the start of a profound transformation, emphasizing her dedication to delving into the complexities of human emotions and the need for empathy. A serious injury in her life provided her with a unique perspective on resilience, teaching her the importance of self-compassion in recovery and beyond. Today, her focus is on empowering others through mindfulness, self-acceptance, revealing a journey of courage, empathy, and continuous growth, right up my alley. It illustrates her passion for helping others cultivate a kinder relationship with themselves, making her a beacon of inspiration for those seeking a path towards greater self-acceptance and understanding. I want to offer a warm welcome to my wonderful guest, Miriam Wallen. Hello, Miriam.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to see you and to be together with all of you today.
Oh, thank
you
you.
so much for
So
the
you're,
invitation.
yes, absolutely. So you're coming all the way from Sweden, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
So I live in Norway the last 25 years in my time. So yeah,
Nice.
I love it.
I've never been there. I've heard many beautiful things about the country, and I have always wanted to visit, but I've never got quite that far, but maybe one day.
Of course I will. Welcome.
So your
Love it.
journey is a beautiful one.
Thank
And
you.
I guess what my question would probably be to you as you're supporting so many others, and, kudos to you, because you take on a lot when you do want to help others, and it can be very transformative, but at the same time challenging. What would be your most challenging part of this journey so far for you?
I think that was like you said before, my own experience in my life, and my experience with this insurance. Before that, I was working like a leader and therapist or highest client. I was used to help them psychosis problem with the hospital in Norway. When that happened, it was quite dramatic, and I realized that the life you don't have any promises in life at all. Everything can change for just a few seconds, and we never know what happened for next. So to see what you have and to be happy for that you have, grateful for that you have already, and also to see what can you do when things happen in life. How can you learn from this lesson? Because nothing happens by coincidence. Everything happens for a reason. And how can we learn from our life journey, and how can we be the best version of ourselves? But for my own part, I really need to go into myself and see what had happened and how can I learn from that. On this moment, I was used to travel around the globe. I was used to scuba diving in Australia. I was hiking in Himalaya.
Okay.
And I was used to have a lot of things going on. And I'm really happy because my body was this moment quite strong. So I used to have my personal trainer. I was used to have coaches around me on this time already. So that happened, I already had them around me. But I went for almost 40 specialists and no one just looked at me and said, Miriam, your body is almost dead. And,
Mhm.
telling yourself someone was quite young, have a quite good success, make it
Mhm.
well, and their life will take another part for this.
Mm.
And I feel, what happened now? Shit, how can I handle it? And how can I love myself? Because on this moment, I was used to help my client at my work. I was used to have my me things, be working like a leader, was used to have a person people look up to. I was used to have change in life because when you push yourself hard, you always have things happen in life. So I couldn't accept myself. And on this moment, I had two choices: go home to my bed and stay the rest of my life, or choose
Mm.
my skill set on myself that was never used on my client before. So it was my knowledge of find back how can I win and how can I find back to myself and how can I find a purpose with the person I want to become. So take small step in a daily way have been quite important for me to accept, find my why and to find love within myself, accept for myself and to
Mm.
see and to become the person I am today. Because without that, I couldn't be the person I am today. And today, I believe I'm much better therapist today because I have been there by myself. And I also can see how important it is to push and help people around us to find back to the real power, willpower they have within themselves. Because what helped me was this little small step in a daily self-talk, positive self-talk. How can I help myself? How can I find positive movement in myself? To create small step every single day to build it up, to find back to the power I have so I can be the person I am today. So that is just a short intro who I am and why I do that I love to do because
Mm.
so many people struggling today to find this why. It's so much happen in our life. We can't understand why thing happened instead to see what's the reason because everything happened for a reason in life. And it is lesson how can we overcome it? How can we learn from it? We get born to this earth by for reason. Nothing happens by coincidence. So how can we learn to become a better version of ourselves? So
Mm. That's
that is
very powerful. I think a lot of people struggle with their whys. Um, I.
And I think that is quite important to see because everything in life,
Mhm.
everything happens about relationship. You can have a relationship with your partner or with your work fellows. Like in my case, you're a leader and you have employment. You have a lot of people around you, and everything's based on boundaries and to feel expectation. If I have three lovely daughters, or two daughters and one son, and I love them with all my heart, but I also know that they need to know who I am to be
Mhm.
able to help them to become the best version of themselves. So to see that all relation we have in our life, it's so important to have boundaries and to have
Mhm.
expectation what we want in our life is create a clear communication, is create a good vibe who can help us to find our why. And like you said, most of the day we just forget who we are. We have so much happen around us. We just
Oh, yeah.
get our own power and the reason why we are here. So it's so important sometimes to take time to visualize what do we want to have in our life and
Absolutely.
what's important for ourselves to become the best version of ourselves.
I love that. And I think that's so important because a lot of times the emotional healing within ourselves, it means doing the work to understand what is going on with us and why we feel that way. And I know even for myself, and I won't go into great detail, that a lot of it, if we don't heal that emotion can make our body sick, and I have family members who've become sick because of that. And it's very sad. It's because they don't want to let go. And I think Joe Dispenza says it really well. He explains that if you continuously think of the same negative stuff, the same negative stuff, the same negative stuff, it starts to form in the body a negative feeling. And then, of course, that comes down and ends up being a disease of some kind. What are your thoughts on that?
Of course, I believe it is like you said. I think we get it from this universe. We have some small challenges we need to figure out in our lifetime. And sometimes we forget to listen to our inner voice. I believe it's quite the most important part we can learn is to listen for the inner voice or its soul. It's so many times we just get listen for ego voice instead to listen to our inner voice. How can we learn from this experience while it happening in life? And when we don't listen for our inner self or this inner voice, something happen and repeat it. It will be some habit to repeat it until we figure out why that happened in
Mm.
life. And if we don't break it, it will be like you said, it can be some, yeah, in the worst case, you can get sick because
Yes.
we repeat until we find a way why that happened to life. And until we listen to the worst way to telling us why we have this thing in life, it's so important to get into yourself, who we are and what's the reason why we are in this place. It's the reason why we live on this
Mm.
earth today. It's the reason why everything happened. Nothing happened by coincidence. All the
Mm.
relationships
Yeah.
we have in the life, every people we meet in daily life will be there for a reason as well. So it's so important to see that, understand, listen to yourself because you are the most important part in your life. You couldn't help
Mm.
anyone around you if you don't listen to yourself. So get into yourself, set boundaries for yourself, and listen to yourself. Prioritize yourself first. This time with your inner self, the connection with universe. I just call it universe. It can be God for someone, universe for some other ones, but I just call it for creator. To have time for creator is so important because that
Mm.
help you create space in your inner life and to help you to create good decision in your life as well. Because everything is about, like you said, to let go, to release things that's been
Mm-hmm.
hard for us before, so don't lead us to, or in worst case, you get sick.
Yes.
Everything happens. You need to see why things happen in life and take boundaries for yourself so you can become even better. How can it help you to see who you are so you can live the life you want to have?
Yeah. And I
Like we
think
said before, when we grew up, I had my little baby elephant. Yeah, you can see it.
lovely.
The baby elephant, when they get born, they have a lot of chain around them. They have normally in Africa, they have a pole, and they pick this little
Okay.
elephant beside this pole. And this little
Okay.
elephant, they grow up a day,
Mm-hmm.
and this become a big elephant.
Yes.
But the thing is, when they get up and get big, they don't see all this. They think in their mind that they have these little ones. This little one, he can't do anything because he had this pole, he had this
Mm-hmm.
leg into him, so he can't change. But when he grew up, he still believed the same limit belief.
Mm-hmm.
He believed his same thing, all of them telling him to be from the environment, from the society around him, education, places, school friends, everything create a limit belief in him and his mind. So he can't change. That's why it's so important to see that he's a big one. He don't need to have that anymore. He can be free, but he need to find back his way back to himself. How
Oh,
can he
nice.
find his way to become the person or the elephant he want to be? And that's
That's right.
something all of us need to see. How can we learn something from our past? How can that helping us to become an even better place? We don't
Mm.
need to be little small one. We can be the one we was created to be. And how
Mm-hmm.
can that help us so we can have the life we want in our future?
Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of times that is social constructs of people believing in their limited beliefs, understanding that, this is where I am and I can't release that. But I think that a lot of times, and correct me if I'm wrong, understanding who we are, and you've mentioned universe a few times, but once we begin to heal that emotion, it connects us to our spirituality. And
Yeah,
we start to feel better in who we are and what we're doing and this life at this moment.
of course.
If someone's on this journey, Miriam, and they're confused, they're not sure, they have a lot of emotions, maybe they're not their emotions, because sometimes,
Mm.
we take on other people's. What would you say to someone who's just beginning this journey and wants to really seek that emotional healing?
I think the most important part is to be honest with yourself. Something will happen to me to see me like my inner child, talk to me as little inner child to say, forgive me. We all have that inner child within ourselves,
Mm,
the person we are today. But to understand the reason why we act in life, it's everything starts with forgiveness. How can I forgive myself for that happen in my life? How can I become a better version of myself? And to just say this phrase, I'm sorry, I love you, please forgive me, and thank you. That's really helped for me is open up the door to my inner self.
Mm.
Because you can see yourself like you don't have any choice when you grow up. Everyone do the best they can on this in a lifetime. Everyone make the best in each situation. If like a mother, a work fellow, like a leader, we all do the best we can in each situation we have. But when we can go back to self, reflect that we do the best we could in this situation. I didn't know more. That is why I have this journey right now. I
Hmm.
grew myself and I help them around me to grow because we learn something every single day. Everything is
Yes.
process around us. No one is perfect. It doesn't
Hmm.
exist, but we are perfect in our imperfections. It's why it's so important
Hmm.
to find that you're not alone on this journey. It's a process to grow, to heal, to find back to who we are. So for
Hmm.
me, it's so important to start to forgive myself and to see, accept all part of my history, and also to show gratitude because everything in life, all I have something to be grateful for. And when we start to be grateful for that we already have in our life, it also grows to more blessing in our life. So everything's connected because it shows the universe that you are grateful for that you have in life, even if you not have a perfect life. No one
Right.
has that. You know, failure and challenger is a part of this journey. No one has
Mm.
everything. And that's just a cliche. If you're looking for Instagram, it looks like everyone have a big mess, that isn't
Yes.
true. Life isn't, is it a mess? It is a mess and it should be a mess. You need to be honest by yourself also to see that if you have a perfect life, something goes wrong. You are here for a reason. We are here to learn, we're here to grow, we're here to explain life, we're here to find a new way of thinking. This is why we are on this earth today. So we need
Hmm.
to, if you already have a perfect life, it wasn't any reason you should be here. To be honest, to see that everything happened for a reason. It is the lesson in everything. And when you can see to be grateful for and see the gift in everything, I think that is a point you want to be in because you need
Hmm.
to accept the life it is. It should be like it is. You are the perfect place right now. You shouldn't be in another place to see that everything in life happens for a reason. So
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Now, if for the people that are listening or watching, they may say, well, they may be a little pessimistic and say, well, why is emotional healing so important? What would you say to them, Miriam?
to be find the power you have in yourself. I know
Mm.
my own part is just I don't need to show anyone around me who I am, but I need to be in line with myself, with the
Hmm.
power I have within myself, my connection to God, to Creator, to be able to help them around me. It's must more to be in harmony with yourself because
Hmm.
no one can learn to give you happiness. You can have your husband or your partner or no one around you can give that for you. It's something you need to find by yourself. And as long you can't find the joy outside, that means that you need to find the within yourself. So
Hmm.
everything
Yeah.
around you need to be coming from yourself. And then you can see that reflect how you look like, how you are like a person as well. You attract people in your life in line with your light and the love and the light you have within yourself because everything connected from the person you are.
Hmm. I love that. Now, do you think, the world there's a lot of chaos right now. There's a lot going on. Do you think that humanity is starting to understand this, the emotional healing?
I believe so. I know when things happen in life, you can't control. You always get looking outside. How was it before? How will it be after or death? What can I learn? What will I let my heritage be for next generation? So I believe it's much more, maybe more humanity, but at the same time, we need to open up our doors as well. What
Mm.
alone is it to be thinking like that? And how can I become even better? And how can I trust my inner voice? In my own life, I think I have been normal life before, listen to all my parents, listen to all this advice, how you should live your life, have perfect life. But then I realized it wasn't true for me. I need
Mm.
to for myself, my own part. How can I find, listen, and trust my inner voice? And that is something we all have within ourselves. And today, when we have this global world we have today is crazy all over the globe.
Hmm.
Even more important to listen to yourself, find place in your daily life when take time to just be yourself. If
Hmm.
that is a meditation, a pray, something will have this connection within yourself. We can find the calmness, the kindness within yourself. So you can be able to give people around you as well.
Hmm.
So find the power, the willpower you have from the creator and the love you have within yourself is so important. And today it's even more important because the whole world is chaos, like you said. So,
It is.
so
It's a little chaotic out there right now. That's for sure. Now, always like to ask this question to some of my guests, but if there were three people that you could have dinner with,
mhm.
and dead or alive, who would they be and why?
I think I just going back. I love religions. As if you from three people, I just take Jesus. I would love to meet him. I don't know he's dead, but I love to see him. How he thinking? How was his plan with him before he arrived this earth
Mm,
today? How yeah, and today. So I think if I have the possibility to meet him, it would be lovely to just discuss everything around. And Trump, it must be really interesting. Yeah, I would love to meet him. You know
really?
what?
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
you know how him. That is the person. He have had do a lot of good things and really lot of bad things, but he have really, yeah, he do a lot of strange things, and the reason why. So that could be very nice to meet him as well.
Okay.
Um, and the third one, well, who should that be? I'm not sure. Maybe there should be some spiritual like Buddha, someone as well.
Hmm.
Because I know like I said before, I am studying world religions to go into and see different kind of aspect as well.
Yes.
I believe we learn something from every person we meet, from our history, from our religions. Everyone have something to give us. So it's so important to be open. What can we learn from them we meet on the way? So I think that should be these three. I know that isn't realistic, but I would love it. If I
That
have
would
the
be an
why
an
not?
interesting dinner. Buddha, Trump, and Jesus. I would like to be at that dinner,
Yeah,
Miriam,
me
or at least
too.
a fly on the wall watching that dinner. That's definitely an interesting dinner. I love
Absolutely.
that.
So yeah, it could be interesting. So yeah,
You would have lots to talk about, that's for sure.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is the life is about. No one, I don't think that is a clear solution for anything. It's always two part. You always have to move part. So how can we learn from each other and how can we be even better and how can we grow for yourself or mindset and see new wrinkles,
Hmm.
we live on this part for a reason. We meet and we do in a life, and what can we learn from all them we meet on a good way? So it's not a single answer. It's everything's connected, and we need to see that
Hmm.
everything's connected from the
Hmm.
creator, from the light we know self, and when we meet, and how can we help and to overcome everything? So
Hmm.
become a better person. But there's a lot of people I would love to meet. So
But
yeah,
that's an interesting three. I love it.
yeah.
So I always also like to share or have our guests share something you'd like to share with the audience who are listening or watching, something you'd like to leave them with, a statement, a thought before we wrap up.
Yeah.
Is there something you want
Yeah,
to
you
share?
asked me before earlier today, if I was 18 years old, what would
Yes.
I be thinking different and do something different? And I have a daughter who is 18 years old.
Okay.
So I discussed that with her. So first I was thinking to myself, if I should be 18 in my mind, what could I do different? And I was thinking, yeah, don't make the life so serious. Do that you love in life.
Mm.
Find what you want, listen to yourself and not everyone around you. And then I talked with her, and she said, if that is the classic now, and I feel okay. Yeah, okay, why? And then said, when you're 18, it's so
Mm.
important to be clear to have which people are surrounded with. Will that be
Mm.
people I have today? Will that be the same people in the future? And how can they help me to become the best version of myself? And I think that is quite clever to be 18 and be thinking about that already. Today we have this, how can I be in a place where I can find stimulate and grow and find my position in this earth, but to see how can I have the right people around me who can help me to find
Mm.
the way I want in my life, the peace within, and to become the person I want and need in my life, pursue success I want in my life, or have a life I love to have. So I think that it's really important to have a clear vision, what you want in life, have the right people around you, what can help you. Take time for yourself in the morning. For my own part, to start my day, they need to find a way. How can I start my
Mhm.
each day in the best version of myself? How can I start my day with gratitude? How can I start my morning routines? What can help me for
Mhm.
the day as well? Because when we start in the right track, it's so much more easier to be in line with our inner
Oh,
self in
absolutely.
within instead if we just rush up. There was a day when I just had my alarm clock and was running and to start like everyone else. And then I realized that was not a good start of my day. Instead to take my meditation, so start with my goal setting, what I need to do in my morning,
Hmm.
what kind of
Very
life I
important.
really want to have. How can I become the prominent creator of my life? What I really want to be? How can I create a life with purpose and
Hmm.
health and vitality? What kind of life do I want to have?
Yeah.
So when we start reflect on small things in our life, it's so much more easy to also achieve and to become the person we want to become. And to
Very nice. I like that. Now, if people are listening and they want to reach out to you, they want to connect with you, where can they find you?
my website are anchoroffreedom.com.
Okay.
Mm.
I will
Or
definitely drop that in the show notes. And can they find you on LinkedIn or
yes, I'm on
yes?
LinkedIn, Miriam Sjölina Wallin, on Facebook, Miriam Sjölina Wallin, on Instagram, Miriam Sjölina Wallin.
Lovely. I love
Yeah,
that.
we're allowed to be connected. So we are Earth for a reason. Everything happens for a reason in life, and yeah, we are here to help each other. So of course,
I
I'm
love
here.
that. I love that. Thank you so much for coming on today. Thank you for sharing your beautiful wisdom and all the things that you're doing for humanity, all the way in Sweden and many parts of the world. I'm sure you're connecting with people. And I want to thank you again so much.
Thank you so much, and thanks you to be here. And you do an amazing job. So thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you.